Hello, friend, and welcome. If you're new here, I'm super excited to meet you, and if you're returning, I hope you're having a much better day than the last time that we talked. In today's reading, I just want to ask what it is that we need to know about right now. Like, what is it right now in this moment that we need to know about right now? Um, and I want to remind you that yes, my tarot readings do involve a bit of shadow work along with intuitive messages, and of course, tarot and oracle cards. So I'm actually starting with tarot cards today because I like to pick like what my first deck is going to be when I get into reading. I kind of lean into what my intention is, and as I lean into my intention, normally one or two oracle decks pop out. But this time, tarot was the only thing that popped out. Like this tarot deck specifically that I'm using is the one that popped out. And I was like, okay, so I guess we are going to start with tarot today. First card, Hierophant. So this straight up tells me right now that whatever we're going after, we need to follow a traditional path. We need to follow and look at schools of learning that already exist and have already been applied. For some of you, this could be just going to like a traditional university or taking traditional courses. Others, it might be, an apprenticeship, or it might be, starting in a company, at the low level and then working your way up. Not that I believe in the whole like start from the bottom and, if you work hard enough, you're going to get to the top, but there are still businesses that honor that kind of methodology. With that being said, caveat here is that this is just part of traditional learning. This is part of established learning. This isn't saying that you have to stay stuck in that or stay there forever. All I'm getting at here is right now the answer to your issue or however you're feeling part of it does lie in traditional learning. Six of Wands. So the return victor, the thing that something that you're going after, that you're working for, that you want badly is going to resolve itself in your favor. This card is always a sign of victory. And I love how in this one, it's funny because it's like the 5 wands down here, and then the 6th wand is up in the spaceship, assumingly. And it's just one of those things where it's like, yes, I did what I was meant to do. I did what I came to do, and that's it. Like, it almost looks like they're leaving. They accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, and they're moving on to the next thing. So with that being said, it's not one of those things where I'm seeing this and I'm like, okay, congratulations, you did it, and you shouldn't be celebrating it. No, you should. But it's also that reminder that you can only live in that like result-oriented thing for a little bit of time before you had to, again, start doing more. With that being said, though, the greater the achievement, the greater victory, the more time that you get a chance to take a break. So yes, a break or some type of reward is deserved, but just make sure you keep it within moderation. And then we have the Two of Discs. So I want to remind you, this is typically Pentacles, and it's not just about finances or money, it's about your time and energy, because you spend time and you spend energy. So when I see this, I understand that things are feeling really out of balance right now, and you're putting a lot of time or energy into just so much of one thing that you're forgetting the other thing. And this could be that you're constantly going like back and forth. It could be that you're putting all your time into work, and then when you come home, like you're just exhausted, but then like on the weekend, you're just putting all your time into play and you're not taking any time for relaxation. A lot of times when I see this card in its reverse position, it's that reminder that you are neglecting some part of yourself. And it's remembering that A, you don't have to go to extreme, and B, that it's important to encompass all of yourself. And that takes awareness. So this card also calls you to be more aware of how you're spending your time and energy. Then we have the Page of Cups. So this card's coming through and it's reminding you that right now, yes, you're going to be experiencing new things. You're going to be experiencing new emotions. And if you live in America, that's just a daily part of life right now. But, let's stick with the actual cards and what we're getting at here, the story that's coming through. And this is about you, taking that traditional path. It's about you achieving what it is that you want to. but also remembering that you need to keep things balanced. And as you go through this and you experience the success, you experience the, things that you're going after, you have to remember that the emotions that you receive, yes, they're going to be new, they're going to feel different, they're going to be received in a different way, but they're still emotions that are good. Whatever those emotions are here to help us learn, to help us experience, to help us integrate, and to help us move on. So whatever emotions you're feeling, whether that's positive emotions, which we love having those emotions, or if it's the not so pleasant ones, allow yourself to experience those not so pleasant ones just as much as you allow yourself to experience the more fun ones. If you get angry, if you get sad, if you get mad, if you get disappointed, I'm not saying live there, but I'm saying allow yourself to experience it and go forward. I want to ask the cards just for a little more information about what is going on. Because, I understand the first part of the message, but I feel like the reason why the tarot cards had to come first because this is going to help us understand and play more into what's going on with the oracle cards. And these were the two cards that fell first, so let's go ahead and dive into these ones first. Death is just one character I play. My real name is Change. So this is that reminder that, yes, change is a constant thing. And whenever we think of death or anything like that, it's a very obvious answer of what has happened in life. When someone passes away, there's no coming back, and we know that. What this card helps you understand is when things change, there is a death. And when the things do change, there is grieving is a part of it sometimes. Not every time, but there's typically grief with change. So this card really helps you to understand that even if it's a good change, even if it's something that you want to see happen, even if it's something that prompts you to wanting, that it's something you've been going after for a long time and it's, healthy and it's good and it's going to be long-term best for you, there's still going to be grief that is going to be experienced. And that is part of the process. So this card isn't to make light of what death is. This card is for you to understand that change is a consistent, ongoing thing that happens in your life, in your world. And change is something that, if you want to allow yourself to move forward and to live the way that you want to live, change is going to have to be a part of that, which means that there's going to have to be grief that you have to experience and allow yourself to go through. So understand moving forward, if you going after the things that you want to go after, you doing the things that you want to do are great, and you should continue to do that. But when you feel the grief, when you feel, the sadness, when you feel, oh, I'm leaving this behind, just know it's part of the process. Because, like it says, death is just one character it plays. Its real name is Change. And that really speaks loudly with the Six of Wands card here, because it's one of those things where it's after you achieve what you want to achieve, you're excited, you're proud of yourself, and that's great. There should be celebration, there should be a little bit of a break, there should be a victory. But at the same time, once you've overcome whatever that mountain is, once you've, climbed that mountain, met the summit, it's okay, well, what's next? And sometimes that can leave an emptiness. Sometimes whatever that summit might be, whether you had to leave a toxic situation, you had to, leave people behind because they weren't good for you, whether you had to, change jobs because of the environment, it's okay for you to be happy about those things, but also to feel sad about, the good things that you did leave behind. So understand that, moving forward and bettering your life and doing things for you isn't just all about happiness. Yes, that's the goal and that's what you're meant to do. But also, it's okay that you're upset, that you're sad, that you're leaving things behind, because it is 100% part of the process. You choose every piece of content you consume. This one's really important, specifically in what is going on with today in society and the political nightmare. If you're watching this around the recording at the time I'm recording this in the US, this is important. Because it's one of those things where In order to keep your sanity, you have to use discernment right now. In order to, keep your sanity, you have to look at the facts, and you have to also at the same time be willing to do what you have to do to see what the truth really is. That means maybe getting yourself to watch some video clips of things that aren't pleasant, but at least you know what your own truth is because you saw it and witnessed it with your own eyes. Understand too that you choose every piece of content you consume. That goes to understand that content is not just about what's on your phone or what's on Facebook or what's on YouTube. Content is also what you eat. Literally, it's what you eat. It's the books that you read. It's, what you choose to do in your free time, whether you play video games, whether you go shopping, whether you go to the park. That, in essence, is still content. It's just not content in the sense of it's being fed to you for a purpose. You going outside in nature is you consuming time with nature. It's you being part of nature. That's you literally sharing your time with nature. You spending time with your children or your animals or your spouses. That's you choosing to spend time with them and make moments at that moment with them. And if those moments were, those weren't recorded and plastered onto a website, it'd be considered content. So understand here that content doesn't necessarily mean just media. Content literally is coming out and saying this is what you do, what you allow yourself to be a part of. Too many ideas is the same as no idea. So true. It's when you have so many tabs in your head and you just don't know which one to even click on. Too many ideas is overwhelming and can keep you scattered and unfocused, and it's just, you might as well just clear your brain and have no ideas. 100%. Too many ideas leaves you indecisive. Too many ideas keeps you from even moving forward. Too many ideas sounds great in theory, but in practicality, when you need to make a decision to move forward, you can only work on one idea at a time. Like, you can have multiple projects going on at the same time, yes, but you can still only work on one project at a time. So this is that time where you really need to use that discernment that I was talking about with choose your content, and understand that, maybe you just need to get all your ideas out and figure out what the best one is for you to move forward with. Maybe you need to write them all on paper. Maybe you need to talk to them all like a friend. But right now, it's great to have a bunch of ideas and kind of let them play in your head. But in order to move forward, what you need right now is we need to get to one idea. Imagination, I said that word weird. Imagination and reality are scheduled to be inverted. And this card took me a little bit time to figure out, because in my brain I was like, imagination and reality are scheduled to be inverted. Well, okay, is that because I'm living in a political nightmare? Because that's not funny. Or is it just, I'm going to, dream my way into paying bills, which isn't realistic. So how is this going to work? Truth is, you use your imagination to create the life that you're living right now. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to lay them all down because I want to talk with the cards as a visual right now. It starts with an idea. It starts with your one idea, and then you start thinking, planning, and dreaming, and seeing how that's going to move forward. And in order for you to do all that, you got to use your imagination. You can call it what you want, but that is what it is. And then from there, it's going to be saying one of those things where those ideas and their imagination is going to be not altered's not the word I'm looking for. Influence is the word I'm looking for. Is going to be influenced by the content that you consume. Because if you consume fear-mongering and hate-mongering and all that type of information, then that's going to be the feedback that you get. If you consume, neutral, realistic, factual information, that's going to be what, helps you to fuel your imagination. If you consume overly optimistic and positivity and, just all up manifestation woo-woo, which holds some reality in, life, but the way it's taught on mainstream media right now is delusional to the point of impractical, then that's going to also shape your imagination. Caveat being here, I do believe in manifestation, and I do understanding that occasional delusional is like good for you in a sense of, fake it till you make it or act as if already. But understand that I understand that you still have to have one foot in reality and that you have to honestly work with what is given to you. So that's all I'm saying on that. I'm not going to go that far because I have a whole soapbox about how New Age is being taught and like everything's just being misinformed, and that's another video. Also though, all this kind of really reminds me right now of this Two of Discs, about things needing to be in balance. And I get right now, balance is kind of already hard to maintain. Again, if you're watching this around the time that I'm recording it, the political nightmare of the US is just ridiculous. And it's even hard to stay balanced when you're being discerning, when you're, choosing to your best of your ability of the content that you take in. Navigating these new types of emotions of living in this realistic moment in history that no one ever wants to live through is bringing about thoughts and feelings and emotions that I didn't even know how to process until I was literally faced with them and I had to process. So understand here that what's being called is for you to focus on what it is you can do. Remember, the Hierophant came here and said, take a traditional sense of learning, take a traditional sense of following. And when I say following, I literally just mean something that's already been done. Like, you don't need to recreate the wheel. You just need to use the wheel in order to benefit you and what it is that you're doing. So why recreate what's already being done and allow yourself to do what you need to in order to move forward with what's being taught and given to you? So understand that yes, novelty is great and everything, and it's nice to be the first one to create and do these things, but a lot of the things that are being done and are created start with the basics. So maybe too, something to consider, and I'm getting this very intuitively, is to consider, maybe do you need to go back to the basics? Do you need to go back to your basics in order to be able to build up what it is that you're working after? And that way your imagination, is literally your reality because you're working to go towards your dreams. Now I want to ask the cards to help us know how to and where to start. Because yes, the Six of Wands is coming through and saying that you're going to get that victory. You're going to get whatever it is. That's too many cards, but I will take this and this. That you're going to get what you're going after. But again, you're not going to just live in glory in all that you did. You're going to do what you're going to do, and then you're going to go on into doing something else. And understand too that while that's happening, the balance of needing to keep things balanced and keeping your time balanced is important, along with understanding the emotions. So let's see what the first card is. Stranger, curiosity. Okay, so this is telling me specifically the word curiosity is what's sticking out right now. And the message is very clear. Right now, you need to focus on being curious. Right now, you need to focus on not what the perfect answer is, but on just what it is that you want to do. What grabs your curiosity? What is it that you find yourself leaning towards, that's doing things for you that you didn't expect to do for you? Whale Soul, resonating. So back to that curiosity thing. If something feels right, if something feels important, if you feel like what you're doing is, something that speaks to your heart, then that's resonation. And I don't know that I need to really explain resonation in a tarot reading. You understand what that is, but understand too that other things can resonate. It doesn't just have to be spoken word or written word. It can be a hobby that all of a sudden feels right. It can be, a group of people that you're talking around, and all of a sudden you find one person that you just really resonate with that becomes somebody more. Could be, a partner, could be a friend, it could be a business connection, it could be networking. Resonation is something that is important for you to realize affects all parts of your life. And in very real ways, it is your intuition speaking on your behalf to say, hey, this is good. Moon Maiden, new beginnings. Okay, so there's been a subtle theme here about you going through change and being discerning and having, to go after your goals and dreams, but also the fact that you're going to be, achieving something too. So hear me out when I say that an end is just a new beginning. When you achieve or receive whatever this victory is that you're going after, understand that this puts you at a new beginning. So what is it that you're going to do with it? And I feel like why you're getting this card now is because either you're already in the new beginning or you're coming towards the end and you're so focused on getting whatever you want to get done finished, which is good. It's that reminder that when you're in that rest period, when you're in that relaxation period, that it's time to remember to, go again, to see what you can do again, to see what can be different. Magician's Sword, confidence in your magic. So this one's important because this one's reminding you that, yes, you have the ability to do whatever it is that you want to do. You have the ability to go after whatever it is you want to go after. And your confidence is going to build when you complete this thing. But also, when we get into that new status, when we get onto this new project, it's gonna wane a little bit, to be honest, and that's normal. Because when we succeed at something, when we do something great, we feel great about it and we're happy about it, but then when we start something new, yes, we have all that experience underneath us, but also it's that blank canvas effect. And when you have that blank canvas, it's like, well, what do I do? How do I manage this? Have confidence in whatever it is that you choose to do that pushes you forward. Have confidence in knowing that whatever you choose to create, it'll be right for you. And if it feels wrong, like if we start out one path and it feels wrong, you're allowed to pivot. There's nothing wrong with pivoting. So trust in your confidence. Now I just want to ask the cards for some encouragement. Get us some encouragement to help us move forward, to help us through this transitional time, because that's what this reading's all about. And I feel like that's why this reading has been so difficult for me, is because it is about a transitional time. And transitional times aren't fun. Like, transitional times often leave you feel clueless and, not sure where you want to go, not sure what you're supposed to do, what's expected of you. And honestly, now that I've called this a transitional time, I honestly really get what this whole thing's about, in the sense of yes, you're in a transition, you did complete something and you're really proud of what you did. And now moving forward, it's where do I go? The answer has been in all of these cards. It's been in the understanding that grief is going to be part of the change, and you need to choose what you want to do, and needing to understand that having too many ideas is just as bad as having no ideas, but letting your imagination become the reality by finding out what resonates, by realizing that this is a new beginning and that you have the ability to do whatever you want to do. Just allow yourself to be curious and understand that whatever emotions you're feeling are part of the process. Every season of life must come and go. Embrace the season of now. This one's huge because this really goes with what I was just talking about with the transition. You're going from, a spring to a summer to a summer to a fall. I don't know what transition you're going through, but you are going through a transition. And, release, let go of the one that you were in, and allow yourself to embrace this new season that you're in. You know what? I'm going to keep change there because that one feels really important. You're growing into the person you're meant to be. This one's a really good reminder that even though right now you might not know exactly what the next step thing is, the next thing you're working on, what it is that you want to achieve, that during this weird integration transitional period, you are still growing into you. There's still growth. There's still, you following your path, you following your dream. Just because it feels still and like nothing's moving doesn't mean that growth isn't happening. In times of darkness, you can always find the light. This time, as I read this, the darkness is like the wound. The darkness is the womb, and you need to allow yourself to find your way towards your own light, to be birthed out. And understand that as I say that, the darkness isn't a bad place to be. The darkness is just a quiet resting period. And then from there, you emerge with this new idea, bold, bright, and beautiful. And, in times of darkness, you can always find the light. Typically, yes, this is like when stuff gets hard, you can find the positive, yada, yada. But the message that was really coming through and the visual that I saw was just, the whole being encapsulated in a womb and then finding yourself out and the birthing process. And what's really coming to my mind is just, after the curtains, draw and the lights go out, you've completed the show, you did the performance. What's next? That's the darkness that I'm feeling. And you will find your way back to whatever your main stage is. Trust your instincts to guide you toward your truth. Huge, because this one goes with curiosity and resonating so much. And it's so important that you understand that the answer isn't going to be I can't say that word right now. The answer isn't going to be okay, I'm not going to try to say that word. The answer is not going to be external. It's going to be intrinsic, and it's going to be something that you're going to find inside of you. The answer isn't going to be something that someone else can tell you. I can give you the advice about what you need to do, but I can't specifically tell you what your next thing is. I can't tell you what your next step is, what your next performance is, what your next, move is. I can't tell you that because it has to come from inside of you. The answer is internal. It's intrinsic, not external. Nope, I almost got it. I do know how to say this word. It's just not going to happen today. You need to trust your instincts. You need to know that the answers lie within you. And you're going to be like, Kirsten, but this is a lot. And I feel like, you only told me that it's okay to be confused. That is actually right now the answer. I know that doesn't seem like an answer that's, going to help you. But this reading was about what you needed to know right now about now. And right now, you're in a transition. You're in a personal transitional phase, and it's one of those things where if you haven't already had the Six of Wands moment, it's it's coming. Like, this isn't a surprise to you. The Six of Wands moment is coming. But at the same time, when you get the Six of Wands, when you get that completion, when you get that, victory, you already know it's like one of those things, well, what do I do afterwards? If you haven't already experienced the victory, allow yourself not to worry about the afterwards until you get there. Unless you do have time to be like, well, I can plan a few things. That's awesome, but you don't have to have it all figured out before you finish whatever you're finishing. If you've already finished it, then understand that in this in-between phase, it's okay to feel like you're kind of like wandering around and stumbling. That unfortunately is the part of the process that no one wants to talk about. With that being said, though, let yourself get curious. Let yourself be led to things that you want to do out of just honest curiosity, out of honest, where do I go from this? And that traditional thing I was talking about, allow yourself to, follow a traditional path in the sense of get a how-to book, a DIY book, follow a how-to video. Allow yourself to, take a cooking course or something like that. Just allow yourself to do something that's already been done. Not so much that you will be like, oh, this will be my new career or anything like that. I'm not telling you to jump careers. But what I am saying is you will find, a person maybe that you can network with or that will, pull you in a direction. You will find a spark of inspiration by learning something. You'll realize that, hey, I have, this ability to do this, and how can I, make this better? Or this feels really clunky. How can I make this more efficient? Again, you're not recreating the wheel. You're just making the wheel more efficient. And that's, something that can be done in a lot of parts of our lives. So moving forward, what you need to focus on right now is literally just living. And I know that, again, seems very bland and not a good answer, but it should take pressure off of you to figure it out. Because it's not that you need to figure it out. It's that you need to allow it to come to you. This is all I got for you today. This is your full reading. Honestly, if you've made it this far, if you've watched it to this end, know that whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever that spark of inspiration, that spark of hope, that, next step that you're looking for, you're going to find it. It's just a matter of being a little bit patient and trusting yourself. And how do I know you're going to find it? Because you've made it this far. You made it this far. Your heart has listened to every word I've said, and it knows that it found some truth in it, and it knows that it's going to get to the next phase. So trust yourself and trust your heart. I love you. I can't wait to hear about your success, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye-bye.